everyone. Welcome back to our Yellow Cow Chat session. We meet here every Friday to talk about life, work, and everything in between. In today's session, we're going to be talking about parenting and career. Can you have it all? And for those who do not know me, my name is Nancy Mbogoro. I am Senior Coordinator Engagement here at Empower, and I'm going to let my guest, as you can see, sitting right next to me on this yellow couch, to introduce herself and tell us who she is and where she comes from.
Right. Thank you, Nancy.
Karibu.
My name is Neemayani Kaduma. Nema would do.
Nema would do.
Yes. And I work for PWC. I've been there for about 19 years now.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much for taking the time to join us here on the Yellow Couch. And of course, for you, our viewers, we encourage you to shoot your questions, you can drop your comments on the comment section. We'll be happy to review them in the program of Yellow Couch. So without any further delays, I would like to get started on today's discussion. We all want to be parents at some point. And we also want to maintain a certain career, to keep food on the table, and life has to go on as normal. So Nama, can you tell us, in your experience, what are the challenges that you think parents face in the workplace, or what are the challenges you face as a parent in the workplace?
Okay. So I think being a parent is a job on its own, and it's actually a full-time job. It doesn't have a cut-off time. And so adding career to it is like, your second job.
Yes.
And so I think that some of the challenges naturally are that, as a parent, you'd have a sick child you have to attend to. There would be events and things that you need to attend to, depending on the age of your kids. So there will be a day that they're presenting at school, and you have something important happening at work. So those are some of the challenges. And I think the bigger ones are when the kids are young, when you have maybe you're breastfeeding, you just come out of maternity leave. You would the labor law allows you to go out early.
Yes.
But oftentimes your work does not necessarily reduce.
True.
So then you have to juggle motherhood
yes,
and your work and your workload. So I think those are some of the challenges. I think you would experience them more when the kids are younger. Not saying they'll go away when they're older, but it tends to be easier, and you tend to get wiser.
Yeah. Do you get used to it at some point? Does it get easier down the road?
It certainly gets easier when the kids are old. I mean, just the other day I was talking to a former boss of mine about, actually I posed a question to her, when do you have time to read?
Yeah.
Because I would love to read more, but I'm struggling to find the time to do that. I mean, more consistently. And we went on a conversation about workload, etc. And then in between, she posed the question, how old are your kids again? And it was like a reminder that, her kids are at university now. So, and mine are about 15 and 10. So the 10, obviously, I still need to take care of with a lot of things, even the 15-year-old.
True.
But it was like, hold on, your kids, how old are they?
Yes.
So, yes, it gets easier when they're out of your house, much older, they've got their own things going on. Yeah.
And do you think maybe the kids also at some point, because as much as this is you as the mother having to balance, or as a parent having to balance your time with your parents' time and your career, do you think also kids have a room to adjust there, or they're always ranting and complaining? How do you get them to, get on board with the process? Like, hey, I also have a job, or I have to do some other things as well.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of parents would have a lot to comment on that one. Or if we had the kids to respond to that question. So, I certainly, you have to communicate. It's a continuous conversation with your kids. I know a lot of kids would say, I'm talking to mommy and she's not listening. She's on her phone, or she's just going, and I know she didn't listen. She didn't hear a word I said. So, but I think having a conversation with them so that they understand. For example, I know at some point my kids, when they're in nursery school, something would happen and they'll be like, all the moms were there except you.
Yeah.
So and you need to have that conversation. I think it's good to be honest and say, I would love to be there, but maybe on this particular day I can't make it. But something else that comes up when you can make it, you should be there. It shouldn't be a constant absence and excuses. I think you need to make the effort to balance.
Balance the two. So it's like a constant reminder, or like at some point when they're a certain age, because I don't think you would reason out with a, let's say, 5-year-old, like, hey, I have to go to work. So as they keep growing older, you also give them that. Nice. So how were you able to navigate, using your own experience, starting your career, becoming a parent? How were you able to navigate these challenges and getting to the point where you are like, I can do this?
So I think there's several things. One, and it's not, I think we all adjust accordingly, and I think it's a continuous process. So there's just managing your time. You really need to be as organized as you possibly can and manage your time wisely, because as I said, it's full-time job being a parent, and having a support system helps a great deal. I believe most of the working mothers would say that.
And so, what do you mean by support system?
So for me, or actually for most parents here, I think we're lucky that a lot of us now have our parents with, around us, as opposed to maybe back in the days when they're so far from you. So when you have parents who, your mom or mother-in-law, who can step in at times. I know of people, whilst the babies are young, so their mothers will come and stay with the baby when they start going back to work. So that really helps. My husband then is also very supportive. So, when it comes to school events and things like that, we've been there pretty much at 50-50 in terms of time. Because there are times he can make it, I can't, and vice versa. So I think those are some of the things that help. And and I think also just the environment at work as well matters.
Yes, true.
Some are more supportive than others, and I think increasingly the workplace is more supportive.
What structures do you think should be put in place in the workplaces to ensure that parents or upcoming parents are considered, that they're able to do their work efficiently, but also also have their time to be parents, or not take that parenting away from them, parenthood?
So one of the things I think is also is just focusing on productivity as opposed to being present. So and maybe it's easier for me to say that because of the nature of work we do. We tend to serve clients, and our work is deadline driven and things like that. So the focus should be on what your
deliverables.
Exactly, deliverables, and meeting the deadlines and things like that. Whether I spend the entire night working, or I come in late because last night I worked till midnight, I think that should be left to the individual, as opposed to saying you need to clock 8 to 5, for example. I think that to an extent, because as a parent, things will change. This week might not necessarily be the same as the week that follows, as far as your kids are concerned. So that, so having a flexible working policy, I think goes in line with the same point. So we have that in the office. COVID has proved that we can work from home.
Absolutely.
And things can still be done.
Kabisa, true.
So And I think through this we'll learn something that, to maybe trust people more and say, right, this is what you're responsible for.
Yeah.
These are the sort of deadlines.
Yes.
How you do it, how you meet them does not matter, but we'll
And here are probably other tools that will enable
exactly.
you to work maybe remotely.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually an important point, the tools.
Yes.
And I think that here it will be technology, just having that environment that enables people to connect remotely. And I know there's certain jobs it's very hard to do it remotely, but where it's feasible as much as possible, I think that certainly helps working parents. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think that makes a very strong point, because at some point we're all bound to be parents. I mean, majority of people will aspire to become parents, and you having a career should not stop you from choosing. There should never be a point where you have to choose between career and becoming a parent, because it's a blessing. In your opinion, what would be the right time to start a family after you've started a new job?
So difficult.
Which is why I've put the word opinion, because I'd like to know. There's so many ideas out there in the community as to the right age to get married, the right age to do this, the right age to do that. So now, speaking about it professionally, career-wise, what do you think is the right time probably to start a family at the point where you've started a new job?
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe I'll speak about my own experience. I mean, I had my first child, got married, and it was 4 years into my job. So by then, I knew the mechanics, I knew what is required from me, etc. So I think it's a little bit easier because people also know what you're capable of, they have trust in you, etc. But having said that, I've seen people who, start at a much younger age. I think the key thing to know is that it's a responsibility when, it's a big responsibility. So you just need to be ready mentally. Be conscious about it. That you're going to have to juggle, 2 jobs.
True.
So
2 jobs, correct.
Yeah. And now there are cases where others have waited a bit longer. I worked in South Africa, and then... a number of ladies actually used to they'll go up the career ladder up to director level and then take time off to now
focus on family and being a parent.
I don't think that's very common here, but it's an option.
Something that can be done. Do you think that being ambitious and career woman who's driven and wanting to achieve things in life doesn't go hand in hand with wanting, parenting is a dream killer. Becoming a parent, not parenting. Becoming a parent could be a dream killer to women who want to achieve something in life through their careers.
I don't think so. I think it's hard. It's hard work to do both. I don't think it's a dream killer. I think you just need to be ready to, especially if you want to be a good parent, and one who is present, and also excel in your career. You just need to be ready to put in the effort required, because it is certainly demanding. But I think we have many role models now. A lot of people could be sitting in this couch right now, a lot more than maybe 10-20 years ago, which shows you that it is possible.
It is possible.
Yeah, it is possible.
So you mean to tell us it is possible to have it all?
Yes.
Becoming a career woman, a successful career woman and a parent.
No, it is possible. It's hard work, but it is possible.
What advice or a piece of what would you tell your younger self, in terms of your career journey and your journey towards becoming a parent? Is there something you could have done different, or any key lessons that someone out there who's watching would take away from you and apply it to help them, plan this better for their life?
I think whatever ambition you have, you should just have belief in yourself and confidence that it can be done. it might take a bit longer
Yeah.
once your plate gets fuller, but I think it can be done. I mean, I'll share an experience. When I joined PWC, one of the things I really wanted to do was to go on a secondment and work abroad. And after I got married and had my first child, I thought, okay, then let's forget about secondment. Then I met a lady who had just come back from New York within PWC, but outside, in another PWC office. And she had 2 young kids. And I was like, oh, it can be done.
Yeah.
And I just, pursued mine. So I ended up in South Africa. So, and I'm sure there are many stories that people can share. So, if you have the ambition to do something, I don't think being a parent or getting into family should necessarily stop you and let you bury all your dreams and ambitions somewhere. I think you can still navigate through and make it happen.
Make it happen. Yeah. So it is possible, and as long as you believe in yourself and you know what you're doing, you don't just get into something head first without properly thinking through it. I think there's always a way, and things always end up working out in the end.
Yes, and I think now we have more role models, mentors, people that you can reach out to
for advice.
Because I think maybe back then it was not that easy, but now there are quite a number of people. Citizen is running a series of
absolutely
women. There are many people out there.
Absolutely.
So
awesome.
You can always talk to someone.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, lastly, before we wind up this session, do you think have you come across any stigmas or misconceptions about parenting or becoming a parent, or mostly I would say women in the workplace who choose to become parents? Because it's I'm speaking this in the dynamics of men and women in the workplace and the way work is perceived. Are there any challenges along those lines, like certain stigmas that women cannot take certain roles because once they become parents they can't do certain things at work? And have you come across any, just to enlighten us?
I think the stigmas are there for certain. It will take a while for them to totally, I don't know if disappear, or maybe to but it's getting better. There's I've sat in sessions where you're thinking, or people are thinking, because I've also been maybe fortunate to sit in interview panels for other organizations, and people are thinking, well, maybe if we put a lady at a certain point in time, they will go on maternity leave and whatnot. And it's part of the process, because if we don't take that into consideration and say, no, for this reason, for this role, I want a male to fit in, because I don't want to, this time that somebody will be away, we'll never overcome that, or we'll never have the diversity that we're all preaching about. So those stigmas are there. I still think the way you address that, it's still focused on productivity and output and deliverables, because if somebody is has gone away, but what they're capable of, there's a matter of time, and you can put measures or have people who can compensate for the time that maybe they're away, or adjust the workload to allow for this person to be away and then come back and continue. So those stigmas are there. And I've also been in situations where I've walked into a room, I was supposed to facilitate training, and the guy walks up to me and he automatically thought I was the administrator. And I understood why. Because I was the only lady in the room. And when I stood up, I could just see the look on his face, but it is what it is.
Nice. Do you think that men also, because they're also parents, do they also face the same challenges at work?
Not necessarily, or maybe not as much as we do. When a child is sick, it's, and in our culture, it's the mother who would, would step out. So you rarely hear, a guy didn't make it because he was attending to a sick child.
Rarely, yeah.
And and maybe as a woman, the more often you do it, the more people think, there she goes again
for this.
But I think still the workplace should recognize that it's you're juggling two things. And then obviously, as I said, as your kids get older, it gets easier. But again, as a parent, we should not take advantage of that.
True.
So that for sure is something that we need to be mindful of.
Awesome. Wow. Well, thank you very much. This has been enlightening, and I think we've learned quite a few tricks from you and your journey. All right, so for you out there, if you've reached a point in your life whereby you're debating whether to take that job or, choose to become a parent, I think Neema has showed us that it is possible to achieve both. It is possible to become a parent and a career-driven person, ambitious, that wants to, get ahead in their career journey. So do not be afraid. Take both. Invest, believe in yourself, and, plan things through so that you can get there. You can land there safely. All right. So we had a very interesting discussion with Neemayani, and we look forward to meeting here again next Friday, whereby we'll have another guest and another topic. If you're interested in sharing your ideas with the world, I urge you to visit our website. We have a platform called The Movement, where you can share your ideas, you can post, you can write articles, you can read articles from different people, thought leaders, industry leaders, and you can learn so much from them. So karibu sana Empower, and until next time, it was a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you.